We're beginning chapter 10, the roots of happiness and suffering. Wherever we live, whatever our culture, color, or religion, we all want to avoid suffering and find a stable source of contentment and fulfillment. Among the various realms of experience, the human realm offers the greatest opportunity for accomplishing this. As human beings, we are capable of bringing about change using our mind. Unlike animals, we have the ability to understand complex concepts. We can contemplate what we have heard or read and validate or refute it. We can act on our beliefs, not with blind faith, but after extensive examination and analysis. Because of this, the human body and mind together constitute a unique and precious vehicle that can potentially take us completely beyond suffering in this very lifetime. So why are we unable to avoid suffering or stabilize fleeting moments of happiness? The underlying problem is that we don't know what to abandon and what to accept in our quest for enduring happiness. Our self-oriented motivation leads us to act in ways that only produce more suffering and further obscure the true sources of contentment. We tend to focus on what we don't have, our catalog of wants, and obsess over surmountable difficulties. This dissatisfaction blinds us to our inherent qualities, which we can otherwise use to benefit ourselves and others. It is as if, in trying to improve our health, we mistakenly drink poison, get sick and die, come back to life, take the same poison again, get sick and die, repeating the process again and again. This is the predicament of all beings. Happiness and sadness arise in quick succession. Although we think that they result from outer objects and circumstances, it is actually the mind's reactions that give rise to our experience. For example, some people love chili pepper. They feel that food not blessed by chili pepper is not worth eating. Others hate chili pepper. They feel that food seasoned with it has been destroyed. Though the substance is the same, people's minds react to it in different ways. And so it is with everything. Each person has her own experience of outer circumstances and empowers this view with judgments and opinions. One might consider a certain individual a perfect friend, reliable in any situation. Another might find the same individual completely untrustworthy. Again, it is their minds that regard the same person in different ways. The ordinary mind assumes that everything perceived by the five senses is real, when ultimately none of it is. From this falsehood arises the interplay of separation and differentiation. And from that, hope, fear, attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, and ignorance arise. If we let the mind rest for a moment in a state of natural, uncontrived openness, all such emotions fall away. But then something comes to our attention. A curtain flutters, we hear a car, or we see someone walking by. The mind immediately focuses on the stimulus as something outside of and other than the self. Making this distinction between self and other establishes the false perception we call duality. When we look at whatever has caught our attention and take note of details, color, shape, size, then we judge, evaluate, and further conceptualize. Then on the basis of this assessment, we decide whether we like it or dislike it. From our initial perception, these steps lead to full-blown attachment or aversion. And that is where our experience of suffering begins. If we want something and can't have it, we suffer. If we don't want something, but it comes anyway, we suffer. We think our suffering is caused by the object we are attached or averse to, when actually the root can be found many steps earlier in the mind's dualistic perception. This perception gives rise to the poisons of the mind, which produce hope and fear, actions and reactions. In short, all of samsaric experience. From duality arises the very idea of friend and enemy, which leads to conflicts between individuals, communities, and nations. Thus, the ramifications of our misperception spin out into endless cycles of suffering.